But also garbage trucks. The cleaning department of the city used it on garbage truck and cleaning trucks. Bicycle taxis are using it. Motorbikes are using it. And obviously the usual tourist guides and all that stuff. And the inevitable merchandising. And what happens also, you realize that if something is as public as a city campaign, what people do is they make spoofs of it. And so this is a bank spoofing it. This was when Air France bought KLM, the Dutch national airline, people were worried that the head office would move to Paris, so they did this. And this is a kind of a dramatic one, actually, because when Theo van Gogh, the Dutch director, got murdered on the streets of Amsterdam by an Islamic extremist, this is a cartoonist that did this with it. But also more lighter issues. Snoop Dogg's favorite city in the world is Amsterdam, for obvious reasons. This is My Medicine, the video he did in the city. This campaign is still running as we speak, and if you visit Amsterdam, there's no escaping it, and you will be confronted with this. Brings us to another case, which is actually not even that far off from as a solution from the Amsterdam campaign. More of a global one. Oxfam is the world's largest NGO, and they approached us because they put fair trade high on their agenda, and they asked us to come up with a communication platform that could both be could address the issue, but also can be understood in third world countries, first world countries, anywhere basically around the world. And it's a very complex issue. The whole fair trade problem derives from the fact that rich countries and groups of countries, like the European Union, for instance, have all these trade barriers in place. So poor countries cannot export their goods to the European Union or to the United States, for instance. And that creates inequality. And we developed this logo to address the issue. And then we developed also a little brand manual, which we sent out to all the Oxfam organizations and said, listen, this is the logo, this is what you can do with it. And now you have to campaign yourself. So we basically just gave them the tools and they campaigned themselves. And I'll show you some of the results. But next to the logo, one very important aspect of our advice was not to use traditional media, because that's the media of the enemy, of capitalism in a way. So we said, use the international symbol for trade, which is the shipping container. So it works like this. Basically, there's a very big market for second-hand shipping containers. You can buy them very cheaply, but can you convert them into media? And this is one example of it. You could build camps of it during festivals, like here. And this is something, I think in Thailand or something, somebody made a car out of it with the moving billboard. Stuff like that. They have press conferences in front of it. And like with any campaign, to be honest, it's not a science. You need to have an extreme amount of luck. Chris Martin, the guy with a golden heart in a way, when he was still very, he was kind of about to break through, but was not that famous. He embraced this issue, and he is the biggest ambassador for us in this with this campaign. And what he did for the campaign and visibility is tremendous. And I'll show you some of the stuff now. You might remember if he plays in concert, he always has this logo on his hand, and even in music videos. It's a very nice song. I'll cut it short. And then obviously, what happens if Chris Martin does it, because he's so cool, Hollywood embraces it. Lindsay Lohan here with Meryl Streep in a really, really horrible movie about a country singer, who obviously has also a good heart. And
feet on the ground, your hopes up high, pray for rain, keep the humor dry, and eat those powder milk biscuits. Thank you.
So, when you hook the hose up to your tailpipe, don't expect to wake up and get toast for breakfast. The toast is you.
We're rushing nice and quick through the presentation, last bit before lunch. It's a documentary. There's a viewing, I think, late this afternoon as well about this. But you're Brazilians, you love football, and you became much, I think, you're 5 times world champion. We are not, in Holland at least. In 2002, we had a very traumatic experience. Holland did not qualify for the World Cup. And we, as an agency, love football and are totally crazy about it. And we're so disappointed by this fact that we really got interested in the concept of losing. And we started looking at the FIFA World Ranking. And we saw these two countries. And Bhutan is a country we know quite well because one of our partners is a Buddhist. And he went there a few times and even has given lectures there at universities. And Montserrat, we had no idea where it was. And we just found it on a map as a small Caribbean island. And kind of the reason why they suck at football is also obvious, because there's an active volcano there, and this is actually their stadium, or what's left of it. So then they're not very good. But and then we kind of thought maybe it's interesting if we could invite those two teams to play against each other the same day as the real World Cup final and an alternative World Cup final. So we just called FIFA because that was the only thing we kind of knew. And FIFA said, convince the federations and you have an official game. So it took us quite some convincing, because you can imagine if somebody calls you and says, listen, you guys are the worst team in the world. There's another team which is almost as worse as you guys. Would you like to play each other? There's a severe piss-taking risk there. So we had to convince them of our right intentions. And we had good intentions with it. But after some calls back and forth, we convinced them to participate in this game. So what we did, we flew the whole Montserrat team to Bhutan and got them to the capital. And this capital has 40,000 people living there, so it's pretty much 2 streets in Sao Paulo. But half of the population of the capital was turned out to watch this game. And if you look carefully at these team pictures, you know who won. Just look. So this game we converted into a documentary which we made without an assignment for our own.